As parents, adopting this free-range parenting would create a betterment in our children and ourselves. When we talk about the free-range parenting and we say that this will be dangerous for the children and it will cause our children to misbehave and become worse, this is false. Why? Because when we do this kind of parenting, it will encourage the child to grow from their mistakes and the child will be wiser than if we do the helicopter parenting. Panels, if you want a world where our children are wiser, more independent, and more equally behaved, then please give the win to the proposition side of the house. Now, what is the definition of the parents with middle income family? Now, parents with middle income family are parents who are working 9 to 5 jobs and can afford daily needs and still have enough money to fulfill some of their family's extra needs. Now, what are the characteristics of the children? The children are person who liable, eager to try new things, and learns from their mistakes. In a children's life, there are almost always a parental figure that nurtures them, takes care of them, and teaches them. Each parent is different in the way they do parenting. Some of them do excessive over-parenting, some of them give their child freedom, etc. We often see in the Eastern world, part of the world, in this status quo, most parents are referred to as tiger moms or dads. This because they do the type of parenting called helicopter parenting, where they essentially control their child's life and gets overly involved in every single bit of problem choices in their child's life. This type of parenting is common here because all parents want their child to succeed and they believe that the only way for their child to succeed is by getting involved in every problem, every decision making, because they think that children are not able to make the correct decision and they think that their choice is always the best for them. This type of parenting, however, causes many children to become unhappy, dissatisfied with their life, and overall not independent enough. This I will explain further in my arguments. Therefore, the proposition would adopt free-range parenting in our daily parental lives. Now, what do we want from this debate? To disprove that parents have to be excessively involved in their children's lives, and to prove that free-range parenting will still make our children successful and happy in the end. Now, we have two mechanisms on the proposition side of the house. First one is we will give our child independency and reduce parental supervision from an early age, and we will be attending to our child's mental and physical needs when needed by giving good values and tips on what they can choose to do. Now, we have two arguments. First one is why developing a helicopter parenting style from an early age of the child will bring more harm than good, and why developing free-range parenting from an early age of the child will bring betterment. Now, my first argument, A, it will create over-dependency on their parents. Now, helicopter parents control what their child do, what they consume, what they produce, etc. They will tell their child that he or she needs to always do what they tell he or she to do. Parents tell the child to do a certain action without letting the child think about what they should do or want to do first. Now, they are subconsciously telling their child to always wait on them to make a decision. Their child will develop a mindset of, my parents will always have the last say in the matter, and I cannot have a say in the matter. Why then is this not justified? The helicopter parents are teaching their children to become slaves to their own commands, forced to do whatever their parents say and not allowed to take risks on their own. This parenting doesn't teach the children to choose for themselves. They never develop critical thinking skill in decision making. They never learn how to manage risk made by their choices. What are the implications of this? When faced with a problem that they have to handle on their own, they will struggle because they are not used to doing things on their own. When choosing between this thing A or B, they will be helpless because they cannot critically think on their own. Now, what is the impact of this? They will not be able to choose independently what's best for them and end up in a worse situation than before, and they don't learn to be responsible of the risk caused by their choices. Their growth process will be slower than other children of the same age. Now, B, it decreases satisfaction and happiness of the child in the long run. Helicopter parents choose what they think is best for their child and they force it on their child. Their child has no other option but to accept. They develop the mindset that I explained earlier and they do the parents' choice unwillingly. The example, the child wants to pursue career in fine arts, but the parents already forced the doctor career down their child's throats. Why then is it not justified? It neglects the child's dreams and ideas, and the parents don't acknowledge what their child wants to do in life. What are the implications and impacts of this? The children will be forced to do a career or anything unwillingly, and this will affect negatively the child's ability to truly focus and enjoy the things that he or she does. The child will not be satisfied with his or her career that their parents chose for them and will not be happy in the end because they cannot pursue their dreams and what they want to do. Now, onto my second argument, why developing free-range parenting from an early age of a child will bring betterment. It teaches the child to be independent and increases satisfaction and happiness of the child in the long run. Free-range parents let their child independently choose what they want to do and reduces parental supervision. They tell their child to do things that they want to do as long as it aligns with the family's values, and they let the child think of what they should do instead of simply telling them what to do. Now, why is this justified? The parents are teaching their children to become independent human beings. The children are to be masters of themselves, able to control their thoughts and actions. The children are allowed to make choices, even though they make mistakes. It's part of the learning process. When they are allowed to make choices, then, when faced with a problem, they will be able to handle it on their own. They have the skills needed to critically think about the choices and take action on the critical thinking that he or she has done. Now, even if they are prone to making mistakes, this is part of their learning process, and they learn to take responsibility of their actions. By not having decisions forced upon them, they will be happier in the end because they are allowed to explore themselves and be themselves. For example, when faced with a decision whether they want to pursue a career in fine arts, or if their parents want to turn to be doctors, the parents give them independency to choose. And if the child chooses to become fine arts career, then it means that their critical thinking has developed and the child will be happier in the end and satisfied with their life. Now, the opposition side might say children are liable, and because of that, they are prone to negative influence from their friends. This is true, but it is irrelevant since on both sides we have that problem, but it's countered by the fact side that we have family values and moral lessons that are not forced on our children and they will behave. Thank you.